What happens when a CEO, sitting comfortably in his office, decides to join his own delivery team for a day? What does he find out about his company? What happens when the truth unfolds? Today, we're diving deep into the heart of a story that will leave you questioning everything you know about leadership, honesty, and the human side of business. Jackson Walker was a man who had it all. At 42, he was the CEO of Walker Enterprises, a multi-million-dollar company that had built its reputation on trust, innovation, and top-tier service. But despite all his success, something had been gnawing at him for months. He couldn't shake the feeling that his employees, especially those working on the ground floor, were losing their drive, their passion. The company had expanded so quickly, and he feared it had become a machine, churning out results but lacking the warmth that had once made it great. Late one night, as Jackson sat in his lavish office overlooking the city skyline, he made a decision that would change everything. "I need to see what's really happening out there. I need to understand the truth," he said to himself, staring into the distance. "I'll join the team for a day. No one will know who I am." He wanted to feel what it was like to be just another worker, to experience the world of his employees in the most authentic way possible. He wanted to know if they still believed in the company, if they still cared about their jobs, or if it was all just routine. Jackson wasn't the type of CEO who would sneak in with a disguise or fake his identity. Instead, he took the simplest approach: a plain blue uniform, a name tag that read Sam, and a truck key in hand. He arrived early, before anyone else, and waited for his first delivery route. As the sun rose, he met his team, a group of hard-working delivery drivers who knew nothing about the man standing in front of them. "Hey Sam, you ready for today?" asked Leo, a friendly driver with a big smile and a laugh that could brighten anyone's day. "Yeah, let's get this done," Jackson replied, trying his best to fit in. Jackson spent the first few hours doing what the others did, making deliveries, talking to customers, even joking around with his fellow drivers. But something was off. His presence didn't seem to make any real impact. He had expected to bond with the team, to become one of them, but instead, they hardly paid attention to him. At first, he brushed it off. Maybe they were too busy. But as the day wore on, it became clear they weren't ignoring him because they were busy. They were ignoring him because they didn't care. By midday, Jackson felt defeated. He had been working alongside the team for hours, and yet, not once had anyone asked about his background, his life, or even his thoughts on the job. It wasn't like they were rude. It was as if he simply wasn't there. He wasn't Sam to them. He was just a nameless face in a blue uniform. Jackson began to wonder, was this how the workers felt every day? Invisible? Just another cog in the machine? He had always assumed that the people working for him were happy, that they felt valued. After all, he had created the company, built it from the ground up. But now, standing in those shoes, he realized how distant his own leadership had become. Finally, after hours of deliveries, they reached the last stop of the day, a small, family-owned bakery. When they arrived, Jackson was left alone in the truck as the other drivers went inside to make the drop. He sat there, staring out the window, reflecting on the day. Then, as the team returned, Leo walked over to the truck and smiled. "Sam, you okay?" he asked, his tone softer now, almost as if he cared. Jackson nodded, but inside, he was struggling with the truth. It wasn't just the team that had lost its spark. It was him, too. Somewhere along the way, he had stopped connecting with his employees. They had become just numbers and stats, and he had lost sight of the people who made everything possible. That night, as Jackson was about to take off his uniform, he noticed something odd in the truck, a small, crumpled letter on the passenger seat. It was addressed to Sam. He picked it up, unfolded it, and began to read. "Dear Sam, I know you're not really one of us. You're probably the big boss who's hiding behind this mask. But I have to tell you something. We're all tired. We're all pushing through each day just to make ends meet. But we never hear from you. Not a word. Not a thank you. Not a good job. You treat us like we're invisible, and you don't even know our names. I used to believe in this company. I used to believe in you. But now it's just another job. I hope you see what's happening here. I hope you wake up before it's too late. A loyal worker. The words hit him like a ton of bricks. Jackson's hands shook as he folded the letter and placed it on the dashboard. He knew he had to make things right, but how? How could he fix years of neglect, of detachment? The next morning, Jackson couldn't sleep. He couldn't stop thinking about the letter. It was clear now. He had been so absorbed in the corporate world, in profits and quarterly reports, that he had forgotten the very foundation of his company, the people who made it all possible. But it wasn't just that letter that had shaken him. He had seen something else during his time with the team, something that no CEO could fake. The next day, he joined the team again, this time with a new purpose. As they made their rounds, Jackson struck up more conversations. He asked about their families, their hopes, their dreams. He listened intently, and for the first time, he felt like he was truly hearing them. And then as they stopped at a small diner for lunch, he saw something that made his heart ache. Leo, the cheerful driver, was sitting alone in the corner, hunched over a piece of paper. Jackson walked over and sat beside him. "Hey, Leo," Jackson said gently. "Everything okay?" Leo looked up, his face pale. "I'm sorry, Sam. I'm sorry for ignoring you all day. I didn't think you would understand." Jackson raised an eyebrow, confused. "You're the boss, right?" Leo continued. "You don't know what it's like to struggle, to live paycheck to paycheck. You don't know what it's like to worry about your family, and we're all just trying to survive." The weight of Leo's words hung in the air. Jackson suddenly realized just how out of touch he had become with the real world, the world of his employees. In the weeks that followed, Jackson made drastic changes. He didn't just visit the delivery team a few more times, he became one of them. He spent time in the warehouses, in the trucks, in the call centers. He made an effort to know every single person by name, to understand their struggles, and to show them that he cared. And over time, the company changed. Employees began to feel valued again. They started coming to work with renewed energy. They started caring about their jobs and about Jackson. They saw him not as the distant CEO, but as a leader who understood their hardships and shared their burdens. Jackson had learned an invaluable lesson. True leadership isn't about being at the top of the ladder. It's about walking beside your team, sharing their struggles, and lifting them up. Only then can you truly inspire them to give their best. The story of Jackson Walker is a reminder to us all that leadership isn't just about making decisions from behind a desk. It's about understanding, empathizing, and being present. It's about never losing sight of the people who make your dreams a reality. As Jackson often said after that day, sometimes you have to step down from the top to see the view from the bottom. And only then will you truly know how far you've come. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.